What if the constant background hum of frustration, the sting of criticism, the anxiety over uncontrollable events, what if these weren't inevitable? Imagine discovering that the source of this turmoil lies not in the unpredictable chaos of the external world, but within a specific, habitual error in your own thinking, an error you repeat countless times each day without even realizing its profound impact on your inner peace and stability. Centuries ago, amidst the rise and fall of empires, plagues, and political upheaval, certain philosophers sought refuge not in palaces or temples, but within the unshakable fortress of their own minds. They uncovered a practical, timeless principle, a mental tool capable of navigating life's inherent difficulties with resilience and tranquility. The secret they unlocked wasn't about gaining power over others, predicting the future, or denying the reality of pain and loss. It centered on clearly distinguishing between two fundamentally different categories of experience: that which lies completely within your sphere of influence, and that which lies utterly outside it. Recognizing this division, truly internalizing it, is the first, crucial step towards liberating yourself from unnecessary mental anguish. Consider the immense amount of mental and emotional energy squandered daily worrying about things you cannot alter: the opinions of others, the fluctuations of the economy, the inevitable passage of time, even the traffic on your commute. This ancient wisdom promises a way to redirect that precious energy inwards, focusing it solely on the domain where your power is absolute: your own judgments, choices, and responses. What could you achieve with such focused clarity? The Stoics termed this powerful insight the dichotomy of control. It's a deceptively simple concept, yet its consistent application is the bedrock of Stoic practice and the key to unlocking profound inner freedom. Understanding this distinction isn't just intellectual, it's a practical discipline that rewires how you perceive and interact with every moment. Are you ready to explore how this ancient principle can help you master your mind, regardless of life's circumstances? At the heart of this transformative idea stands Epictetus, a philosopher born into slavery who rose to become one of Stoicism's most influential teachers. Having experienced the extremes of fortune, from bondage to respected scholar, he possessed a unique perspective on what truly constitutes freedom and control. His teachings, preserved by his student Arian in the Discourses and the Enchiridion, relentlessly focus on this fundamental division of reality. Epictetus stated it plainly: some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. This simple sentence forms the cornerstone of practical Stoic philosophy. It's not merely an observation, but an urgent call to action, a demand that we rigorously sort our experiences, thoughts, and energies according to this principle if we wish to avoid suffering and live virtuously. The challenge lies in consistently applying this filter to the complexities of daily life. So what exactly falls into the category of up to us? According to Epictetus and the Stoics, this domain is exclusively internal. It encompasses our judgments, the opinions we form about events. It includes our impulses, the motivations that drive us to act or refrain from acting. It covers our desires, what we seek to attain. And crucially, it includes our aversions, what we seek to avoid. These are the functions of our own mind, our volition. Consider receiving unexpected criticism. The criticism itself, the word spoken by another person, is external, not up to you. However, your judgment about that criticism, whether you deem it devastating, insignificant, or constructive, your impulse to react defensively or reflectively, your desire for approval and your aversion to disapproval, these internal responses are entirely within your control. This is your sphere of action. Think about facing a sudden downpour while planning an outdoor event. The rain itself is external, clearly not up to us. It belongs to nature, indifferent to human plans. Your desire for sunshine, your aversion to getting wet, your initial impulse to curse the clouds, these are internal. But crucially, your judgment about the situation, seeing it as a disaster versus an inconvenience requiring adaptation, and your subsequent actions, finding shelter, rescheduling, are your domain. Conversely, what lies in the category of not up to us? This encompasses everything external to our own volition. Our physical body, its health, appearance, eventual decay, is subject to factors beyond our complete command. Our property and possessions can be lost or damaged. Our reputation exists in the minds of others, influenced by their perceptions, not solely by our actions. External events, from political shifts to natural disasters, unfold according to their own logic. A promotion you hoped for goes to a colleague. The decision made by your superiors is external, not ultimately up to you, even if your performance played a role. Your physical health deteriorates despite your best efforts with diet and exercise. The body's inherent vulnerabilities are not entirely within your control. Someone spreads a rumor about you. Their actions and the beliefs of others are external phenomena you cannot directly manipulate. These are realities we must accept. The core of Stoic practice and the source of its power lies in recognizing this boundary clearly and consistently. Most human suffering, the Stoics argued, arises from a fundamental confusion, treating things not up to us as if they were, and conversely, neglecting the things that truly are up to us. We invest immense emotional energy trying to force external outcomes, while failing to govern our internal responses. When we desperately crave external validation, reputation, not up to us, or fear uncontrollable future events, external circumstances, not up to us, we are setting ourselves up for inevitable frustration and anxiety. We are, in essence, giving away our inner peace, making it hostage to factors inherently beyond our command. This misplaced focus is the root of much psychological distress, according to Stoic analysis. Imagine the mental freedom that comes from truly accepting this dichotomy. If someone insults you, you recognize their words and opinions are external, not up to you. Your internal response, whether you choose to feel injured, indifferent, or amused, is up to you. If you face a financial setback, the market conditions are external. Your judgment about the situation and your subsequent actions to adapt are internal. This shift redirects your energy effectively. The practical application begins with mindful observation. Throughout your day, especially during moments of stress, consciously ask yourself, what aspects of this situation are truly within my control and what aspects are not? Is it the traffic jam itself, or your reaction of fuming impatience? Is it the critical email, or your interpretation of it and the ensuing emotional spiral? This pause for classification is the first step toward regaining composure. Once you identify what falls outside your control, the Stoic practice is to cultivate acceptance, or what they called apatheia. Not apathy in the modern sense of indifference, but a state of freedom from disturbing passions driven by external attachments. It means acknowledging reality as it is, without demanding it conform to your preferences. This acceptance isn't passive resignation. It's the foundation for effective action within your sphere of control. The next crucial step is shifting your focus and energy entirely onto what is within your control, your judgments, intentions, and actions. Instead of lamenting the canceled flight external, focus on how you choose to respond, finding alternatives, using the unexpected time productively, maintaining your composure. Rather than dwelling on past mistakes external, unchangeable, concentrate on the present choices that shape your character and future responses. This requires consistent practice. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, famously wrote his meditations as a personal exercise in reinforcing these principles. He constantly reminded himself to examine his impressions, challenge automatic negative judgments, and focus on virtuous action in the present moment, regardless of the immense pressures and uncontrollable events surrounding his reign. His writings serve as a testament to the discipline required. A common misconception is that Stoicism advocates for suppressing emotions, becoming cold and unfeeling robots. This is inaccurate. The Stoics recognized emotions as natural human responses, often triggered by initial impressions. The goal isn't to eliminate feelings, but to avoid being ruled by irrational or excessive emotional reactions, particularly those stemming from attachment to externals. It's about managing our assent to these impressions. Feeling sadness at a loss or initial frustration at a setback is natural. Stoicism doesn't deny this. However, it prompts us to examine the judgments underlying prolonged or excessive negative emotion. Are we amplifying our suffering by judging an external event as terrible or unbearable when it is merely unpreferred? Are we attaching our well-being to something inherently outside our control? The focus is on rational assessment, not emotional denial. Stoicism encourages cultivating preferred indifference, things like health, wealth, and reputation. It's natural to prefer them, but they are indifferent in the sense that they are not essential for virtue or inner peace, eudaimonia. We can strive for them rationally, but our happiness should not depend on attaining them. True good resides only in the quality of our character and choices, which are always up to us. By rigorously applying the dichotomy of control, we cease being passive victims of circumstance. When we understand that our true power lies in our responses, we become proactive agents in our own lives. External events still happen, challenges still arise, but they no longer have the power to dictate our inner state. We reclaim our autonomy by focusing our efforts where they actually matter, on our own thoughts and actions. This practice cultivates profound resilience. When setbacks occur, instead of spiraling into despair or blame, the Stoic practitioner asks, "What virtue can I practice in this situation? How can I respond wisely?" A job loss becomes an opportunity to practice resourcefulness and courage. Unfair criticism becomes a chance to practice patience and non-reactivity. Every external challenge transforms into an internal training ground for character development. The reduction in anxiety and frustration is palpable when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Imagine the mental bandwidth freed up when you consciously release worry about things like what others think, future uncertainties beyond your influence, or past events you cannot change. This liberated energy can then be channeled into productive action, creative pursuits, or simply enjoying the present moment more fully. Mastering the dichotomy of control is not about achieving a state of perfect, unchanging bliss. Life will still present difficulties. Rather, it's about developing an unshakable inner citadel, a core of tranquility and rational judgment that persists regardless of external storms. It's the difference between being a leaf blown about by the wind and being a deeply rooted tree that stands firm. This internal mastery leads to a unique form of empowerment. It's not the power to dominate the world, but the power to govern oneself. Knowing that your well-being ultimately depends on your own choices and judgments, not on fickle external circumstances, grants a profound sense of freedom and responsibility. You become the master of your own inner domain, the only domain where true mastery is possible. Consider how this applies to relationships. We cannot control how others feel about us, what they say, or how they behave. Trying to force affection or change someone's fundamental nature leads only to frustration. Applying the dichotomy means focusing on our own actions within the relationship, being virtuous, kind, honest, and setting appropriate boundaries, all things up to us, while accepting the other person's responses as not up to us. In the face of societal or global challenges, political instability, environmental concerns, economic downturns, the dichotomy remains a vital tool. We cannot single-handedly fix these large-scale problems external. Fretting uselessly achieves nothing. Instead, we focus on what we can do, educate ourselves, participate constructively where possible, manage our own fear and anger, and act ethically within our own sphere of influence. An important practical exercise derived from this principle is negative visualization, or premeditatio malorum. This involves contemplating potential future misfortunes, illness, loss, failure, not to dwell morbidly, but to mentally rehearse responding wisely. By considering these possibilities beforehand, we lessen their shock value and reinforce our understanding that our response, not the event itself, determines our suffering. This exercise helps us appreciate what we currently have, recognizing it as borrowed from fortune and potentially temporary. It also prepares us to face adversity with greater equanimity, having already considered how we would apply Stoic principles, focusing on our internal response, our judgments, and our virtuous actions should the worst occur. It builds psychological resilience proactively, rather than reactively. The goal of Stoicism, informed by the dichotomy of control, is eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living in accordance with virtue and reason. It's a state achieved not through external success, but through internal excellence. By consistently focusing on what's up to us, perfecting our judgments, acting virtuously, managing our responses, we align ourselves with nature, both human nature and cosmic reason, and achieve the highest human good. It's crucial to understand that accepting what is not up to us does not mean inaction or fatalism. The Stoics were often highly engaged public figures, senators, emperors, teachers. Acceptance of external reality is the starting point for wise action. Knowing you can't control the outcome liberates you to focus entirely on performing your own role virtuously and to the best of your ability. Think of an archer. The archer controls the selection of the bow, the quality of the arrow, the aiming process, the drawing of the string, the release. These are up to the archer. However, once the arrow leaves the bow, its flight path can be affected by wind, unforeseen obstacles, or target movement. These are not up to the archer. The Stoic archer focuses meticulously on their process, accepting the outcome with equanimity. Our lives are similar. We control our intentions, our efforts, our choices, our responses. The results of these efforts, however, are often influenced by countless external factors. By focusing on the quality of our shot, our internal state and actions, rather than obsessing over hitting the bullseye external outcome, we maintain our peace of mind and act more effectively within our actual sphere of influence. This principle challenges the modern obsession with controlling every aspect of life, a pursuit often fueled by anxiety and leading to burnout. Stoicism offers an alternative path, finding freedom and power not through external domination, but through internal self-mastery. It suggests that true control lies paradoxically in recognizing the limits of our control and focusing wisely within those boundaries. Applying the dichotomy of control requires ongoing vigilance. It's easy to slip back into habitual patterns of worrying about externals or neglecting our internal responses. Like any skill, it demands consistent practice, self-reflection, and course correction. Reading Stoic texts, journaling, and consciously pausing during stressful moments are all ways to strengthen this mental muscle over time. The Stoic approach encourages viewing challenges not as obstacles to happiness, but as opportunities for virtue. When faced with difficulty, the question becomes, how can I use reason, justice, courage, and temperance, the four cardinal Stoic virtues, in responding to this situation which is outside my direct control? This reframes adversity from a source of suffering into a catalyst for growth. By internalizing the dichotomy of control, we cultivate gratitude for what is within our power, our ability to choose our perspective, to act with integrity, to meet challenges with resilience. We also develop a healthy detachment from outcomes, reducing fear of failure and anxiety about the future. This combination of engagement in our actions and detachment from results is key to Stoic tranquility. It helps us deal with the past more effectively. We cannot change what has already happened, external, not up to us. Ruminating on regrets or past grievances is unproductive. The Stoic approach is to learn from the past, accept it, and focus our energy on making virtuous choices in the present, the only time where our agency truly exists. The past informs, but it shouldn't imprison. This principle fosters better decision-making. When we clearly distinguish what we can influence from what we cannot, we can allocate our resources, time, energy, attention, more effectively. We avoid wasting effort on futile attempts to control externals and instead concentrate on optimizing our own choices and actions, leading to more rational and productive outcomes within our sphere of possibility. The ultimate promise of mastering the dichotomy of control is not a life free from difficulty, but a mind free from turmoil. It is the attainment of ataraxia, tranquility, and apatheia, freedom from disturbing passions, leading towards eudaimonia. It's about building an inner fortress so strong that external events, while acknowledged and dealt with, cannot breach its walls and disturb the peace within. This Stoic insight remains profoundly relevant in our modern world, arguably more so than ever. In an age of constant information overload, social comparison, and global uncertainty, the ability to distinguish between the signal, what's up to us, and the noise, what's not, is a crucial skill for mental well-being and effective living. It offers an anchor in turbulent times. To summarize the core takeaways, true control lies not in manipulating the external world, but in mastering our internal responses, our judgments, impulses, desires, and aversions. Suffering often stems from confusing these two domains, trying to control what we cannot and neglecting what we can. By consistently applying the dichotomy of control, we can cultivate resilience, reduce anxiety, and act more virtuously. Actionable steps involve consciously identifying what is and isn't in your control during challenges, practicing acceptance of external realities, shifting focus to your internal responses and choices, and potentially using exercises like negative visualization to build resilience. This isn't about emotional suppression, but rational management of your reactions based on accurate judgments. The profound peace promised by Stoicism isn't detachment from life, but detachment from outcomes beyond our control. It allows for full engagement in virtuous action, driven by rational choice rather than reactive emotion. It fosters a sense of empowerment rooted in self-governance, freeing us from the tyranny of external validation and uncontrollable events. It reclaims our inner sovereignty. Reflect on your own life. Where do you habitually expend energy trying to control things that are ultimately not up to you? How much frustration and anxiety stems from this misplaced effort? Consider one small area where you could consciously practice applying the dichotomy of control this week, focusing solely on your response rather than the external situation itself. Mastering this principle is a lifelong journey, not a quick fix. Yet, even small steps towards internalizing the dichotomy of control can yield significant reductions in stress and a greater sense of agency. It's about consistently choosing to cultivate your inner garden, regardless of the weather raging outside. This ancient wisdom offers a powerful blueprint for navigating the human condition with grace and resilience. The Stoics believed that by living in accordance with reason and virtue, focusing only on what is truly ours to control, our inner world, we align ourselves with the rational order of the universe itself. This alignment is the source of true freedom and enduring peace. The power lies not in changing the world, but in changing how we choose to meet it, moment by moment. How might your daily experience change if you truly internalize the difference between what you can control and what you cannot? What anxieties could you release, and what inner strengths could you cultivate by focusing solely on the domain of your own choices and judgments? The path to controlling your mind, the Stoics teach, begins with this fundamental distinction.